They both describe meeting as just, instant electric attraction. From that very moment that they met, they were just joined like magnets.
Susan Carson, Michael Carson. You're admitting to murdering Karen Barnes, Clark Stevens, and John Heller.
I think that Susan is intelligent and crazy and evil.
She's a witch, you know.
Why?
Grandiosity is a common element of severe mental illness. I can do anything because I am entitled to. And they believe this. Nothing can stop them.
We rid the world of evil, witches, people with dark forces.
And welcome everybody to the Kiosk Presents here in Buffalo and Western New York. You know, we love going to Hollywood and talking to special people. Well, no exception today. We got a very special person. She is the host of Deadly Women, a show that now airs Fridays at 10 p.m. on Investigation Discovery. And everybody, a warm welcome to Candace DeLong. Candace, welcome to the Kiosk Presents.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, come on. You're a head profiler with the FBI in San Francisco, or you were, right? Now you're doing the show. You know, before we get started, I got to tell you, I got a history of serial killers in my family. I can't keep shredded wheat in the cupboard. I'm telling you right now. Okay, but enough of that. All right, so anyway, tell us about the new show, please.
Well, we're starting our 6th season. Deadly Women is all about what you'd expect, women who kill. It's a 1-hour show, and in that hour we present 3 stories that are themed. It might be mothers who kill their children, but it would be 3 different motivating factors for each of those stories. Or mothers who get their kids to kill for them. Or women who marry men and then kill them for money. All kinds of things.
Not exactly for the faint of heart.
Not exactly.
Right. Now, I know you've helped solve several very high-profile cases. You want to tell us about those, please?
Early in my career as an FBI agent, I was lucky enough to be involved in the Tylenol murders in 1981. In Chicago, someone tainted Tylenol capsules with potassium cyanide, and 7 people died in just a few days.
Wow.
And I, later in my career, worked on the Unabomb case, ended up doing the undercover work up in Montana with my partner and spending the afternoon with Kaczynski while we searched his cabin.
What's the most gratifying case you ever worked on that you helped solve?
That's an easy one. I was part of a team that we rescued a little boy who had been kidnapped by a child molester and was being taken out of the country, and we grabbed him and the molester just as they were getting on a train. And I, over the next couple days, had the little boy in the hospital and was involved in interviewing him, and then after 3 days brought him home to his family. And that was my most gratifying moment of my FBI career.
Well, I got to tell you, too, most of those stories don't end so cheerfully, do they?
No.
No. So, well, you do wonderful work. Now, what can the average person do? I mean, profiling is such an intense. You need to know a lot about everything, and plus people's background and things that psychologically would have impacted them throughout the years and all that. How do you put that together? How do you figure out that the person, maybe capture a person based on his profile?
Well, what an FBI profile is, it's an analysis of a crime scene and a victim and you're working backwards. You don't know who the bad guy is. So the profile that's developed is a personality and lifestyle sketch of an unknown offender. And the way that's determined, it's part art, part science, mostly art, and a lot of it has to do with the experience of the individual or individuals doing the profile.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, the shows on TV that show the BAU, I think is correct, right?
Right.
Is that an actual unit of the FBI?
Yes, it was the Behavioral Science Unit at the FBI Academy.
Okay. Now, they're not quite as quippy and fast to see one little thing and then jump to conclusion. There's a lot of study going on behind the scenes, right? There's a lot of mental work.
Right. Most of the shows that feature profiling are a lot of fiction, but they're interesting.
They're fun to watch too, I guess. Okay. Now, what are we gonna when we're watching your show, Deadly Women? Tell me, what are we gonna see? Are we gonna see how the case started and developed? I mean, are we left hanging here, or do we see the bad guys brought to justice? Or
You're not left hanging.
Oh,
All of our stories are presented. Many of these murders have had stories written about them, so you'll hear about the author. You'll hear the author kind of recapping what the person's background, and then you'll hear me talk about their motivation, behavioral analysis, and psychology. We recreate, we dramatize the murder, and we do tell you what happened.
Well, one of the young ladies here said, well, get Candace's opinion on how you can spot, when you're going out on a date with somebody, any danger signs. How can you protect yourself against weird people who are not, acting normal up front? Now, and she's right here smiling, saying, yeah, please, get me some information.
Well, most people, men and women, are on their best behavior on the first few dates or even the first few months of becoming involved with someone. And that should feel normal. If you're with someone that is acting in such a way or saying things that make the hair on the back of your neck stand up or give you an unsettled feeling, you're probably right. Trust your instincts. Don't go out with them again.
And one of the things, though, too, I've heard somebody say that, try to get the person in many different environments as possible to smoke them out. How do they treat the waiter at the restaurant who's giving slow, poor service?
Very important.
How do they handle the guy who sort of jumped ahead on the stop sign before it was his turn? Mm-hmm.
And I would caution women, look very carefully at how a man treats his mother or talks about his mother. And similarly, for young men, I have a son. Be careful about women that hate their father. There may be a real deep-seated psychological issue there that's unresolved, and that can transfer to their adult life partner, male to female or female to male.
Carol is taking notes right now as we speak, just so you know.
Good.
And she appreciates it. And I also want to add, how about, and two, isn't this really important how men treat animals, how they treat pets?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. If you meet a guy, you like him, and he has a pet cat that he's good to, go look for a ring.
Well, okay. And in the jewelry business, that's very good advice, everybody. Okay, so listen, the show is Deadly Women, airs Fridays at 10 p.m. on Investigation Discovery. Candace DeLong is our host. You're going to take us all throughout these cases. This sounds really exciting and wonderful to watch, and a little scary sometimes, but she's not going to leave us hanging out on a cliff anywhere. She promised us that. So make sure you folks watch that, and Candace, we look forward to seeing the show.
Thanks.
All right, thanks for joining us here on the Chaos Presents in Buffalo.
They did talk about the murders, and they laid down this case that they were being spiritually attacked, and they had to defend themselves, and they were called to kill witches, and their whole rationale.
Because of their mental illness, they believed everything that they said, and they wanted the world to know it.
So how did you kill Karen Barnes?
I murdered Karen with a frying pan when she slept on the kitchen floor with a pillow.
You absolutely can't have rehabilitation when there is absolutely no remorse. Neither of these people feel any remorse whatsoever. They speak about it in a way that, almost glamorizes it, and Susan has bragged about being friends with the Manson girls in prison. There doesn't seem to be any sign whatsoever that they would come out changed in any way.
I think Suzanne was the ringleader of this murder team. Michael went along with everything she wanted. He fed into her delusions, and he made her feel very, very special.